Shalom and welcome to the channel. Together with Tovia, we've brought you to a very unique place. It is called Mamshit, the only walled city in the Negev, taking you back to the times of the Nabataeans. Here we are at the threshold of the city, or should I say the city gate, the main city gate. We're going to give you a short little field to a national park here in the Negev. There's also a beautiful campsite right next to it, so you come and spend a night, come and experience the place and learn about it with us right now. Where are we? What is this?
Okay, we're on a city called Mamshit, and its English name is better known as Memphis, but we're not in Tennessee. Basically, it's a very famous city from the 1st century of the Common Era. It appears on the Madaba map, the famous map of the Middle East, found in Jordan, from showing cities in the 6th century, in the Byzantine period. And this city was part of the famous spice route. The Nabataeans had their capital, the legendary Petra, over there in the other side of the Jordan, and they made their money because they literally had a monopoly on getting the spices from the Arabian Peninsula all the way through to Gaza. And they had cities which were stop stations on the way, and Mamshit was one of these cities. Romans took over the Nabataean spice trade, and of course in the 4th century the Roman Empire in the east became Byzantine Empire, which was a Christian empire.
Let's go. Woo! Look at that.
Aren't you glad you stopped here?
Very much so. Impressive to see a city that existed for 600 years and the arches are still standing. Why would this have been destroyed? What's the reason the city doesn't
very
exist?
simply, in the 7th century was the Muslim conquest. And after 600 years, including 300 years as the only walled city in the Negev, the sheer force of Islamic soldiers coming through here absolutely destroyed all these Nabataean, later on Byzantine cities in the Negev, and they've laid in ruin ever since the last 1400 years.
There are other examples that you can see in Nabataean strongholds. Avdat, which is not far from us, about a half an hour's drive just beyond Stable Care. You can get to see another Nabataean city, but it's interesting that you have so many Nabataean cities within the land of Israel, and then if you go into the Arabian Peninsula, they're very far apart.
Right.
So the reason you have these cities here is there's a lot more water, and they were absolute specialists at catching water.
Genia.
I mean,
in fact, there was a dam they built here back in the 1st century. There was in use all the way to the 20th century. In fact, on top over there where those palm trees are, there's a British police station, and they were still using the dam the Nabataeans built 2 millennia earlier. So when it came to water engineers, these guys, or hydro engineering, these guys were absolute experts.
check out the link above. When we did the run around Ein Yorkam, you'll see the Nabataean steps that led down towards the spring, and they even carved out their own steps leading to these water sources. It shows you how much they relied on it, but they were able to build cities very close to these water sources and exist here for 600 years.
Unbelievable.
Masters of the desert. Let's go. This is the mansion, by the way. We'll take you into the mansion for a sec. Look at that. Stairs leading into the room. How's that? Nice sized room.
Feet of the archers. There's a mihrab there.
Courtyard. Yeah, exactly. This is good to show you. Here you can see a mihrab which faces south towards Mecca, and in here you can get the remains of some of the pillars of society, and you can also see where the arch would have come over to roof this beautiful room. Nice cupboards.
Water channel there.
Yeah, exactly. Masters of water. You can see everywhere within the mansion you would have had flowing water for hygiene, for pleasure, and of course for survival. Okay, let's take you up the tower. There we go. Yeah, you get a good feel of the layout of Mamshit. Here's the mosaic. Okay, we're just about to show you on the floor of the Byzantine church the name Mamshit. in Greek.
It's Greek to you and Greek to me.
Wow. They've really done this nicely. Well done to the National Parks Authority and the Israel Antiquities Authority. Here is the mosaic floor and the apse of the church, which is facing east towards the rising sun. You can make out the pillars of the basilica. And any ideas what this says?
Oh, I actually do, even though it's in Greek, because basically Jews and Christians share one thing. There's always the church or synagogue you go to and the one you don't go to.
Right.
So this small town had two churches. The Nilus Church, where we are right now, named after its donor in the donor plaque, just like in synagogues. It's front and central. And over around here you have a whole beautiful carpet mosaic with peacocks over here, geometric designs, and this clearly was the beginning of the Byzantine period from the 4th century, when the city converted to Christianity, and they were very much strict about not having any kind of representation of human beings. What's amazing about this particular church is, unfortunately, in 1994 it was totally destroyed by vandals, and the national parks had already mapped it out and taken a lot of photographs, and it took them years to meticulously restore the church to the condition you see today. And as Shmuel mentioned, there's an apse over here, and separating the apse from the rest of the church was a marble screen, and some of the marble remains you can still see over here from imported marble from Rome, so from Italy. Beautiful Byzantine church. And what's very special about these churches that we're going to see is because people became suddenly Christian after the Edict of Milan in the 4th century, it wasn't just babies that were baptized, but also adults. And we're going to see the baptism font, which is highly unusual.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Take some stable footage here. Wow. Here we are.
Amazing.
Okay, I consider you a pretty stable guy. How would this work?
I don't know why you're horsing around so much.
I think it's pretty simple to understand this. Beautiful, beautiful troughs.
Tie the animals so it goes right through.
Yeah, have a look here. Tie the horses there. Here you have the drinking troughs.
And the Nabataeans were famous for their horses, their racing horses actually.
Right, and plenty of options here. And you could put in a good 50, 60 horses in here. Here on the highest part of the hill, you can see this was the main church. Look at the size of this basilica, the Eastern Church. There's a cross.
Right, and that helps us date the church, because after the 427 it was forbidden to put crosses on floors anymore because they were considered to be a holy symbol. Yeah. Therefore we know that it was built before 427. So this church basically stood for the last 200 years of the city of Mamshit's history.
Wow. Do you want to go to the chapel? Let's go.
Take me to the chapel.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, would you expect to see something like this?
They converted to Christianity in one fell swoop, children and adults. So this therefore was big enough to accommodate adult converts to Christianity, to the new religion of the empire.
Steps leading down inside the cross-shaped baptismal pool. Look at the beautiful capitals. Got a bit of a Corinthian design. Sort of the main drag, the main street and the main markets. With the sukkah, with the schach, with the palm branches above. Nice and cool. You want to see the house? Okay, let's do the house. Beautiful. Come and look at these storerooms here. First you can get an idea of these pillars. And here are the storehouses. More stables and storehouses. That's what it used to look like. There's a beautiful picture of the entire city, the walled city of Mamshit. And these signboards are so clever, look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, here we go, here's the famous Nabataean horse. Right, the figurine of a camel found in Abdat, which is the other Nabataean city. Also, don't forget Shifta and Mamshit. We're standing now here.
This
really
was
beautifully
a
done.
mansion, a single house It was 16,000 feet squared. It was a huge mansion built in the 2nd century. What was most interesting is inside this very house, a massive hoard, the largest hoard ever of ancient coins was found. 10,500 silver coins from the 1st to the 3rd century were found in this house. Who knows what happened to the owners and why 10,500 coins were left abandoned here. One of the great mysteries of this city.
Did you coin that?
Coin affairs.
That's good. Just to get a closer view of these beautiful capitals, these are the unique Nabataean capitals. You can see it's got like a pointed edge to it, and there used to be idol symbols on the tops of the capitals, but they were of course taken off during the Byzantine period. And you can see how the wooden beams rested on top of the capitals, so you had flat roofs. Really gives you a good idea of what it used to be like. So it's not Doric, it's not Ionic, it's not Corinthian, it's the Nabataean capital. And when you go around the site, you'll see even the modern lights, they built them to look like that. So a lot of thought went into this place. Kudos to Mamshit. Right, now we're heading to the finish, and we have a treat for us. Okay, our run comes to an end here in an oasis, a shady spot at the camping area next to Mamshit, and we have a treat in the fridge.
What could it be?
Oh, let's see. In the freezer. Oh, would you believe it? A Negev craft beer coming out an ancient Nabataean city. Who says the promised land does not bring miracles? Full of miracles. Take another one. Okay, let's just go outside for a sec. So there we go, folks. 12 minutes, 1.2 kilometers. That's how easy it is to come and experience the city of Mamshit. We hope you enjoyed that short little vlog. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like, drop a comment, do your thing, and remember there's plenty more coming your way. We are so happy that we can bring you the beauty from the land of Israel, and we're going to finish off with a L'chaim, miracle beer, Negev craft beer. Highly recommend this beer. It's nice and light, 4.7 alcohol. And ooh, what do we have here? A little bit of foreign, born in Jamaica, red stripe. Yeah man, you can have that one. Oh, it's your birthday, you can choose. The perfect beer in the perfect place, the perfect people. Another one. Shabbat Shalom, have yourself a great weekend. Welcome to the Promised Land. Local is lekker.